Hey, good evening, everybody. How are you? This is Freddie Ewan, two-time GM of the Year, current Pantheon Cup champion, 2023 regular season champion, and host of the Tpffkal show. I'm going to send this out to Brian. I doubt he's going to get on. He will get on, but he'll only get on if he's like he wanted everyone else to get on, and obviously that's not going to happen. But he wanted to. He needs to be really prepared before he gets on the show with me. But I'm going to send this out to him and maybe he'll get on. But anyway, it's Wednesday. It's the day before the Chargers Raiders game. And we got some injuries, boys and girls. We got some key injuries to go over. Keenan Allen, surprisingly, is going to be out. He is out tomorrow night. So if you have Keenan Allen on your fantasy team, he is out. That's unfortunate for FJTK. They are taken in the butt with injuries. Luckily for them, they do have Calvin Ridley on the bench, so they're going to be able to put them in. Other injuries to talk about: Josh Jacobs for COC maybe out. Justin Jefferson, something to monitor. Tyreek Hill, still something to monitor. Looks like all these other guys. Stroud, no one is really on here for, but some big injuries: Keenan Allen, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Josh Jacobs, CJ Stroud. What I really wanted to get to is I finally got my Christmas gift. I got my Kelly Green Jason Kelce jersey. Check it out, baby. I love it. I got a Devontae Smith jersey coming to me, so that's really just the only reason why I wanted to put it on the show tonight. But what I'm also going to talk about is I'm also going to talk about my pick for GM of the year. I had put a lot of thought into this. I know everyone else is putting thoughts into this, and I really think that the GM of the year should always be judged really on the regular season and what they did during the regular season. And everyone has different opinions on fantasy football, on what they think is, good plays, bad plays. I've seen people who have made trades, and people are flipping out, and it turns out to be, a great trade, and I've seen trades that everyone has an opinion. All right. The, fantasy football is an art. There's no A, B, C. This is how you play fantasy football. It's you can put, I look at all the experts who put all the, who's going to be hot for DraftKings and who's going to have a big game. And 80% of them shit the bed. So it's like everyone has. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to happen on a football field. You look at the matchups. The matchups are. It's a lot like playing poker. It's like you go in and you have a strategy. You think you're going to play this kind of game. You're going to be tight aggressive. You're going to be loose passive. And sometimes strategy works, and you look like a genius. Sometimes it doesn't work at all, and you look like an idiot. So that's basically how fantasy football works in a nutshell. Um, but anyway, back to my vote for GM of the year. A lot of people did a lot of different things this year, which I thought a lot of good moves besides Danny and Champ. Champ made a couple moves, but Danny really didn't do anything. I thought he was just a really bad GM who wasn't really interested and didn't really get involved in any trades. Not really what we need for the TPFFKAL. But back to the GM of the year. I got on Neil in the during the trade deadline because he did not really. I thought he was being a little greedy with his players. He didn't really trade anyone. Didn't really get rid of anyone. But there was a reason he didn't do that, obviously, and he still had a chance to make the playoffs. And it seemed like there were two teams left. That it was really an 8-team race, and Bowser had really backed out, and Neil stuck in there. And Neil made some moves at the beginning where he picked up Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow got hurt. I'm going to try to bring up Neil's team. Let me see if I can do this, because Neil is going to be my vote for GM of the year, even though he has not gotten on the show. He is still going to be my vote for GM of the year. So just to go over Neil's team, he's got $19 in cap room. So he made some $19 in cap room. So he's made some moves. I drafted Rashid Rice. He ended up picking up Rashid Rice. Rashid Rice is going to be a great keeper for him if he wants to keep him. Devin Archain, I think that I don't know how he got Archain. I don't know if it's going to tell me how he got him, but yep. He picked up Archain for $2. Archain is going to be a great keeper. Um, Cooper Cup hasn't had a great year. $32 for him though. $32 for him. Cup's been injured. He's had a couple games. Um, Kenneth Walker has been injured. He got both of the receivers on Houston who have had big games. Nico Collins. Let me just give you some Nico Collins, $2 he got. Nico Collins season stats. He is the 46th overall ranked player. He had a really bad game against the Jets, but before that, put up 32 points, 22 points, 10 points, 12 points. He put up 35 points in week 4. He put up 27 points in week 2. Nico Collins has had a great year as a wide receiver. Neil got him for $2. Got our chain for $2. Our chain has been beat up a little bit, but just to give you a couple stats on him, week 4, 28 points. Week 5, 25 points. Was injured for 4 or 5 weeks. Came back, 23 points against Washington. Another guy who's going to be a keeper. Let me go down a little bit. Tank Dell. Tank Dell got off waivers for $8. Tank Dell, 16 points in week 2, 26 points in week 3, 29 points in week 9, 15 points in week 10, 28 points in week 11, 15 points in week 12, and then he went down with the injury. The wide receivers, the 2 Houston wide receivers went far for Neil. And he's had injuries. Jonathan Taylor bought. Jonathan Taylor traded for semi-automatic, paid cap room for him, goes down right when he gets him. Joe Burrow, bomb from the Red Sharks, goes down pretty quickly after he gets him. Kenneth Walker, injured. Kenneth Walker injured. Let me take a look. Kenneth Walker's had some good games in the beginning, but he's went down the last couple weeks. 29 points in week 3, 19 points in week 10, but went down. Neil got Chuba Hubbard. Hubbard, as of late, has been playing great. How do you get Chuba Hubbard? Waivers, $14. 10 points last game, not really much, but before that, 25 points, 17 points. Chuba Hubbard's really come around. Neil would be a good playoff team right now. People are being up on him because he paid $66 for Nick Chubb, which, I don't really think it was the best thing either. But hey, look, this guy's got, I'm looking at his team for next year and his potential keepers. He's got Rashee Rice. He's got TJ Hawkinson. He's got a chain that he can keep. He's got Nico Collins. Justin Fields is still not out of the mix. Jonathan Taylor, I think went really cheap. I don't know if Taylor's going to be the guy again, but when Taylor came back, he was decent. I don't think he's the number 1 draft pick anymore. Tank Dell, another guy. So Neil's really got a ton of keepers. He's got a great future if these guys can hold up with these Houston wide receivers, along with CJ Stroud, who's obviously going to be the offensive rookie of the year. But you look at Neil's team, and the guy paid $66 for Nick Chubb and loses him in the first week, and goes 9-5. So I always think that the MVP, the GM of the year, should be somebody who had battled a lot of adversity. Like I really did the first year in this. I had a ton of injuries and just got lucky with the waiver wire with Amon St. Brown 2 years ago and busted in the playoffs as the 6th seed, I believe, or the 5th seed, and ended up finishing 3rd. But it's just I always think that the GM of the year should be one that goes through adversity. And Neil did not have a lot of cap room to start off the draft. He obviously drafted well. He got a lot of good players for $2 who really, really outperformed. Played the waiver wire. Every guy that he got off the waiver wire has been phenomenal. So it's like Jimmy's going to hate me for this, but the San Patricio Rock Throwers GM he's my GM of the year. It's like, I think, Brian Um, Brian made some good waiver wire acquisitions, Kyron Williams and Puka, two great waiver wire acquisitions. He paid a lot of money for them. He was one of the guys just like me, where your all his waiver wire money was done in like the first 2 weeks. So he did really get, he got Puka, who's going to be a great keeper. I think Puka's he's been a little off the last couple weeks, but I mean he's put together a great year. And Kyron Williams, I mean this guy could be a number one running back. I mean Kyron Williams, you look at him the last couple weeks, 13 points, 13 point, or I'm sorry, yeah, 13 points, 13 points, 38 points. I mean, he's just had a great year. Kyron Williams is going to be a number one. Is going to be number one back. Brian picked him for $42 off waivers. He paid a lot for him. So, yeah. So Neil congratulations, Neil. I hope everyone else votes. Takes a look at the way people are going to always vote for GM of the year in different ways, but I really think you have to take a look at the GM who has battled the adversity the most, who didn't have a lot to begin with, and who really had to battle and make a lot of moves off the waiver wire to get where they were. Neil finished with a 9-5 record. Unfortunately, because he didn't have enough points, he didn't make the playoffs. Finishes for another 7th, but congratulations, Neil. You are my vote for GM of the year. Everyone have a great night. I just wanted to show up the Kelly Green jersey. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye bye.